This is the Zeniko T1 2.4 gigahertz wireless mini flash trigger kit. I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, it would cost you about $32. They haven't paid me for the review, and my opinion remains my own. So in the box, you receive 2 units and a USB A to C charging cord. There's also a small instruction manual. So these units are basically identical, and they have a switch on the side, one set to RX, and you would have to set the other one to TX. So whichever one is set to transmit was the one that triggers, whichever is set to receive or RX is the one that lights up the flash unit. They also have a power flash button and kind of a pairing button that looks like a Wi-Fi symbol on it. So the instruction manual has some pairing information. I don't know if they come paired from the factory. You push and hold the power button and they're supposed to turn on, so we have 2 green lights there. Push and hold the power button, turn on, we have a green light and a red light. I'm going to just try pushing the flash button on the transmitter and see what these indicator lights do. So I didn't see anything happen there, so I'm going to push and hold on the transmitter for 1.5 seconds, and now we have a flashing green light. I'm going to push and hold on the receiver for 1.5 seconds, and now we have a flashing green light. Alright, so now that we have them both flashing, we're going to push the flash button to trigger a flash signal. This guy here went solid green, that means it's paired. And this guy over here is also solid green. So I believe they are now paired. We have 2 green lights. Alright, I've installed a mini flash unit on the receiver, not included in the kit. And we're going to test it out by pushing the flash button on the transmitter. So yes, that definitely is transmitting and receiving properly. So the manual says it has a 50-meter range, which is like 150 feet. I didn't exactly get a tape measure out, but I think I'm standing about 150 feet away from that red kayak. And if you look just to the right of it on the dock, there is the flash unit, and it did just flash and trigger. Plenty of range. Alright, so this guy just friction fits into the hot shoe of my camera pretty nicely. It's not going to come out. It feels like it's pretty solid. I don't have any equipment to directly measure the lag in radio transmission here, but I've cranked my aperture up, set my shutter speed to 1/4000th of a second, which is the fastest my camera will do, and we'll just take a picture and see if we get some flash illuminating the side of that candle. So it actually appears that there is not any flash illuminating the side of that candle at 1/4000th of a second, although I saw the flash trigger there. So let's back off the shutter speed until we find what will work. So I'm going to go to 1/2000th. Still too fast for it. Alright, I'm going to have to reduce my aperture here. We're at 1/500th of a second. Alright, now we are definitely getting some flash showing up there. So we can actually see here as the shutter moves across the frame, the first part of the image, the first, 3/4 of it was shot without flash, and then down here you can see the flash just, really overwhelms everything. So let's go down to 250. Alright, so here's 2/50th of a second. And so you can see there most of the image is flash, but there is a little bit at the top that's not. So we're going to go to 1/100th of a second. Alright, there's flash of the entire image. So it does look like, there is a delay. You're going to have to be shooting less than 1/100th of a second. Most people in the studio are probably shooting at that speed or lower, but this is something you'll have to pay attention to when you're setting up your shutter speed. All right, according to the manual, the receiver is your battery life limitation. So the transmitter essentially has a 40-hour battery life turned on. It basically just sits there. When it gets a flash signal, it sends out the radio signal. Now the receiver has to have the radio on all the time, listening for that radio signal. And it will go into a hibernation mode in 30 minutes. So if there's no operation in 30 minutes, the receiver will have a slow flashing light for the power light, and the pairing light will turn off. And they say to wake it back up, you push any button on the receiver or you push the pairing button on the transmitter and it'll wake it back up. So the manual claims 8 hours. That's basically going into hibernation 16 times before that happens. So to effectively test that, I'm going to have to let this guy sit around and come and check on it every 30 minutes and wake it back up. Alright, they only provide one USB cable. Basically, if you have any USB-C cable, this guy should just plug in and work with it. It draws 5 volts at 0.2 amps, so it's basically drawing 1 watt to charge. So it doesn't require much of a power to charge it up. And the indicator light here is red. They say when it turns green, it means it's fully charged. And it does successfully negotiate USB-C power delivery, so you can use a phone charger directly to USB-C to charge it. Alright, the receiver has a green light, which indicates it's done charging according to the manual. Now it's still drawing half a watt, and it started off drawing about 1 watt, so it's, stepped down its draw, but it has not completely stopped. So it may be you get extra benefit by leaving it plugged in a little bit longer after the light has turned green. I think, though, it's probably mostly charged at this point. I think the battery's gotten above the voltage where they just consider it fully charged. I've also charged the transmitter unit all the way up to the green light, and I'll just leave it in plugged in as well. Although I think, with a 40-hour standby on the transmitter, I think we're going to hit that 8-hour on the receiver. Alright, so it used 111 milliamp hours, so a pretty small amount of total power. This thing's green, the watt draw just going lower and lower and lower. It actually is turned off. My battery bank has detected it's such a low draw, it turned it off. So I'm going to say it's charged. Let's test it out. Alright, it is 1:30 p.m. and I have set these guys up, and every half an hour I'm going to come out and make sure it flashes. I have the time-lapse camera watching it. Supposedly the receiver is supposed to last for 8 hours, so that'll be 9:30 p.m. We'll see how that works. Right, so this is what it looks like when it's gone into standby mode. The power light is flashing, but the connection light is not. Push the pair button on the transmitter. Now the transmitter is starting to flash and did some green and red lights, but the receiver is still doing a single flash. So I'm going to push the flash button again. Still nothing. Alright, so I think you need to push something on the receiver. I'm going to push the pair button. That seems to have gotten both lights going. Alright, so we can push the flash button and it flashes again. I'll go another 30 minutes. Okay, it's 10 p.m. I've come out here pretty much every half an hour. I might have missed one of my visits, but this guy is still receiving, still ready to receive. Hit the button here, goes off, everything's working. So yeah, I'm going to believe their 8-hour claim on the battery life on the receiver here. So I think you can count on that receiver to last for 8 hours continuously. So yeah, if you need a small, easy to use remote flash unit, I think these guys will work pretty well for you.